Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Christabel, the original Power Ranger Princess. But on this channel, I'm Princess Power Ranger. So, I really wanted to make this video because in the previous video, I was about to go off on a tangent, and thank God, my God, thank God, I was able to stop myself, stop my motor mouth, change my outfit because it was just busting off me. Um, and now I get to sit here with y'all and tell you this insane story time. So I'm not, I wasn't sure if I should tell this story time because I was not sure if I was still gonna, meet the guy, if he came to Chiang Mai. But considering, it's almost the end of the month and I'm going to another country anyways, I'm like, let me tell this story. Now, before we get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure to tell me, if you're a trans girl and you've ever had somebody fly down to you or pay your flight or do something insane like that just so they could meet you. Or if you're a guy who's ever, paid for a girl to come to your country and done stuff like that. Let me know. I want to hear your story. So, for me, dating, most guys that were trans attracted always seemed to live somewhere in the West. And I'd find myself connecting with people that lived miles and miles and miles and oceans away from me. So, initially, the first time that I think I actually had someone come down to see me. This was in South Africa. I call that time of my life the two-boy weekend because I had this British dude and this Italian guy that came down, and those experiences were very interesting and unique in their own way. And when I came to Thailand, you have to understand I wasn't in my 20s anymore. I wasn't this young, fast little girl. I was here to work, essentially, to meet people, to form adult relationships. So when guys would tell me that, they're going to come down and see me or they're going to book me a flight or whatever, I would be like, don't talk, just do it. It's not something that moves my soul because in Thailand has the largest tourism on the planet. If you go to Pattaya, especially, all of the men in that entire city that are foreign, they're paying to see all these women, so it's never been anything that moves me. For me, whenever I meet somebody, I think my first question, or what should be my first question, or rather my first question in my heart is, where is your heart? How can I connect with you over and above just what we're gonna do sexually? I don't mind us getting to those dark, explicit points in our relationship, but more often than not, I'm looking for somebody that is gonna try and meet me in my soul. A lot of these guys that come to meet these girls really are visiting Thailand just to do that, to come, C-U-M. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily coming to connect emotionally with so many of these women. And the guy that I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to play the video notes. Girl, it's about to get juicy up here. So, the guy that I want to tell y'all about, fine, he was gorgeous, handsome, whatever, beautiful green eyes. It's all good. But I felt that he was such a disingenuous catfish that I could not take him seriously. This guy, we had talked on, this dating website, right? Called Transgender Date. And, I don't even remember how the first couple of conversations went, but they probably went bad because I'd end up deleting all of his messages and I just move on to my other messages. Well, he proved to be persistent for a number of years. And no, I think he's only been talking to me for a year and a half. I don't know. Like, it's, yeah. But, anyways, he'd been trying to talk to me, but in that sort of like gross, aggressive, like, shove Penelope up my booty hole. It was very hardcore and intense. And I was always like, dude, you are too gnarly for me. That's grody to the max. Remember when we used to say that in the 80s? But yeah, he was always too much. So I never really paid attention to him. Swiftly moving on. He messages me and he's all like, "Oh, I'm landing in Thailand. I really want to meet you." We exchange numbers, and yeah, like it's at this point we start talking over the phone. Now on the dating website, it lists his location as the United States of America, New York. Now I've been to New York, Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens, yes. Um, so, and I mean like you meet New Yorkers all the time. So like I think all of us, especially in English speaking countries, we have a sense of what we imagine a New Yorker to sound like, act like, be like. Um, this man sounded Italian. He sounded not even, because they are Italians in New York that have a very specific Italian American accent. No, Fabrizio sounded like he had just learned English, like 5 years ago. Um, so that was the first red flag. I was just kind of like, why is your accent so thick? You don't even sound like you visited America, let alone were even born there. And then like on his profile, he was like he's mixed race. So I'm assuming, like obviously I see him and he looks 100% Caucasian from the mountains of the Caucasus, with his green eyes and he's pale skin, So I'm like, maybe he has like a Puerto Rican or Chilean mother and like a Scottish dad or something. Bruv, tell me why he's mixed Hungarian and Romanian. And I'm like, okay, so you're mixed with two white groups. And that was the second thing that sort of like, I don't know, it was a weird kind of red flag because it was only in Eastern Europe that race is more nuanced, where, somebody who does come from Moldova and Belarus, who has parents from those two countries, they can, to some people, be considered mixed race. But in the English speaking world, we're like, if you don't get your if you don't get your pasty self. So that was weird for me. Cool. He gets to like I asked him about his accent and all these things, but he couldn't really give me any answers. But I was like, if he's cute, like I let him buy me a thingy, a flight to Krabi because I wasn't doing anything. All I was doing was chilling in my room and just, like smoking weed. So I might as well go and I might as well just smoke weed on the beach with a hot guy that I can, like, have intercourse with. So I was like, cool, whatever. I'll go. So he gets the flight. This is where him and me start fighting because, baby, um, gosh, how can I say this without sounding like an entitled, um, bougie bitch? I can't. So I'll just say it. I am not somebody who can be purchased. I'm not somebody who can be bought. I'm not somebody who has a price tag. I'm not somebody who's easily moved by money. I grew up um, adjacent to a lot of wealth, and I've met a lot of people that were considerably rich in anyone's language. So, by no stretch of the imagination, ever mistaken me for somebody who is so desperate that they will sacrifice or just give up on who they are just to have like a little bit of a holiday. Baby, if I'm good, if all my needs are met, the wants, oh, those are optional. Oh, those are optional. Like, you buying me a bracelet or a pair of shoes, I'll send it back to you. You getting me a flight, I'll miss that flight. Because the one thing I will tell you is that I'm somebody who gatekeeps my energy. I gatekeep my energy, and I'm very, very protective of my energy. And so often, transgender women and just us as women in general, we do not set these healthy boundaries. Once a man is able to throw just a little bit of change, we turn into the mob wife who just witnessed, 50 people getting pew-pewed, and we comfortably wear our coat and we're like, you know, that's not who I am. That is not who I am. Baby, no. So, I thought he was a catfish, and okay, I'm gonna be a messy bitch. When I found out he was an Aquarius, I was like, the fuck? And he acted like one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play some of the voice notes that he had sent. Oh, I'm just gonna start from, yeah, just one from him, and I'm gonna play it at two, just so you can get a sense of everything. After I've played the voice note, I'm gonna read what I wrote, or I'll just hold it up to the screen, but we'll go. Let's go. Listen up.
Even if I succeed to buy your luggage, you still have to pack a day backpack, to use it.
Sorry, I forgot he had an accent.
Even if I succeed to buy your luggage, you still have to pack a day backpack, to use it when we're out daytime, or if we're doing the island hopping, you want to have a little backpack different, like whatever you want, comfortable, some toiletries or whatever you want to use. Number one. Number two, when we go to PP Islands, we not take out all the luggage because there's no taxis in PP Island. It's like
I've been
as
to
soon as you
PP.
land, you walk to your hotel. And right now, I still have to look for a hotel, and it might not be close. So,
I don't know what this fool's talking about. He was, okay, at this point of the conversation, he's telling me he got the flight, he's handling the luggage, and he's explaining, Thailand to me. I've lived here a year and a half, babe. Now, it's at this point he's trying to explain how the holiday is gonna go. The reason I'm sort of getting annoyed is the minute a man starts spending money, there's just this energy shift where they behave like they're your father. But I try to change the conversation. Now, this is me.
the thing is, it's when
For,
you're on online dating, a lot of people are on there, and you need to make sure that, I don't know, like, you need to just be 100% sure of the intentions
I
of
sound so
the
dreamy.
person that you're talking to. Like, yeah, yeah. No, it's just, like, it just helps paint a picture as to who you are.
Girl,
That's all.
I didn't say shit. Was I high?
However, I also understand that two things. Number one, things could just in general not go the way we both expect, Um, just because we are going to people doesn't mean that we have the right fit for a relationship.
Wait.
I know that at the end of the day, if there's a human being, you're a human being, so yes, we have cultural differences. We also want the same thing. We want to be happy, and we want to be free of pain. So yes, But I'm also aware, like I said, things might not be going the way we wanted. And I'll have to accept it, you know? I still have to cherish you as a human being, respect you, and appreciate you. If it works out, great. And if it doesn't work out, great too. At least, you know, we'll stay friends, you know? And end of the story. But intentions is to get to know you, potential long term, right? That's what we both want. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, it will be good too, you know? We'll practice patience and acceptance. I understand.
Anyways, I can't understand his accent, and I'm speaking like on heat. But basically, I asked him what are his intentions. He goes on this whole spiel, and and sometimes usually that is how you know that someone's intention. It's just to get that boom boom.
Right.
Why does he sound like he's?
You know, we both can accept them. And we're still gonna be friends, you know? Just because we don't work out for long term partners.
Look, I'm just gonna stop it right there. I asked this man, what are your intentions? And at 3 points, I'm not sure if you could make out any of that with how heavy his accent was. But he keeps on going about, oh, we might not get along, we might get along, but at least we'll be friends. It is so simple. When somebody asks you what are your intentions, we live in the year 2025. Just say, um, just say like I want friends with benefits, and then I will let you know if that's something I'm interested in or if that's something that I stopped in my 20s. So he goes on this his little his attempt to speak English, and then I just respond cool beans. So he then says, but obviously I really want you. um and then he's like, what, babe? After like a couple of minutes, like there's this time frame, there's gonna be this awful glare, but I'm not sure if you can actually see. But then he goes on to say, what, babe? And I'm all like, what are you asking me? He responds, nothing. So then I respond, no worries. And I'm like, you really do talk a lot. Have you ever talked yourself into a corner? Now, when a woman says that to you, have you ever, like, you talk a lot. You talk a lot, my guy. So then he responds, what do you mean? Then I say, you talk a lot. Have you ever talked yourself into a corner or, put your foot in your mouth?
I don't get it. What do you mean, talk myself into a corner?
You're saying the wrong thing without realizing. There's another English adage that says putting your foot in your mouth. Not sure if you've ever heard of those phrases before.
I can talk a lot, and I love talking sometimes with the right person, with the right people. But do I sabotage myself with a lot of talking? Sometimes, yes. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I have weakness. I have strengths, but I also have weaknesses. Yeah.
This was, I think, my issue with this guy is, um during our conversation, right, he had made it clear he's gonna like he wants to see me, he pays for my like holiday and whatever. It is still undecided as to whether or not I'm gonna go. I told him that I wanted to, but I still want to talk and get to know him. Cool, whatever. um all he did was talk about himself, and there were so many points where I was trying to connect with him. Now, at this part of the conversation, the question that I posed to him is, and it's very, very common for women to ask you, almost sarcastically, like, do you ever talk yourself into a corner, or do you ever find yourself um, putting your foot in your mouth? He has never heard those expressions because he's not American. He's never heard those expressions. And instead of, and this is the annoying part because he goes on to say, I am not perfect. Then he says, oh yeah, of course I talk myself into a corner, but no one's perfect and I just want to get to know you and this, that, and the other. A lot of times when men spend money on you, they have this perception. Actually, he didn't spend money on me. He spent money on himself on a flight that I never got on. that I never got on, that I missed. Um, because he wanted to paint for a trans that had like a hard on and whatnot. That flight that he got, yes, it had my name on it. Yes, it had my details on it. But my sweet lass was nowhere near that flight because what I would never do is be under the control or the manipulation of someone. And the minute somebody starts coming too catfishy, claiming they come from Germany but got a whole Australian accent, telling me they come from Brazil with an Egyptian accent. Oh, baby, I was born at night, not last night. So yeah, like it just annoyed me that he was every time I'd bring up something to him and I'd be like, you seem to do that a lot. Or do you ever think like talking too much or being too argumentative or being too sarcastic will bring out the worst in people and will prevent you from actually getting close with people? And he would immediately jump back and be like, well, you just have to accept me. Or he'd go on with this shit.
You can do that with me. I want a girl who's acceptance. And, you know,
I want a girl who's
keep in mind,
acceptance.
wherever you are in the past, in Chiang Mai, in Krabi, it's a whole different ballgame. After you meet Ryan, you're a fucker man, it's a whole different ballgame. You're not coming to Krabi to judge people. You're not coming to Krabi to judge me. Let me be my own judge, and let my karma be my judge.
Good.
So, you're coming to Krabi to be my partner, to be my girlfriend, to be my wife.
I thought you wanted friends, bah.
So, whatever you did in the past, keep that judgmental mind. Lock it up in your house before you come.
Why don't you keep your fucking controlling self? Okay?
Also, and you said only intelligent and smart people you can date, because like even your grandma, like we're judging them and so on. So how do you know I'm smart and intelligent? I never told you I'm smart and intelligent. Maybe I'm just a dumbass American, yeah. So who told you I'm smart and yeah.
What crazy. So, I honestly don't even know what he's saying because, and I don't mean to be a bitch, but, when I would try to talk to him, his responses were so, nonsensical. Like, I'm not gonna get into the grammar, but he'd go into this, like, defensive spiel and say a whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. And I'm the type of person, dare I hear one little thing in your argument, it's going to, like, it's, no. Um, Whenever I would try to talk to him about something, he would just immediately get defensive, but then want to make jokes about me, want to make sarcastic jokes about me, and expect me to just be like, you're so romantic. By the way, I never said his name on this video. I'm just saying. And even if you heard the name, it's we know it's not his real name. So, what did I say? Wait.
Look, if you feel that being judgmental gets you closer to people, it creates meaningful human connections, it opens your heart to others and others to you, keep judging. If
I will.
it gives you inner peace, keep doing it. Maybe it works for you. But if you feel that being judged and close you off from other people, it distances you from certain people, then you might want to think, what do I really want? Do I want to be connecting with others? Do I really want, or do I want to have a close-hearted mind away from people? And so on. Do I want inner peace? Or do I want a mind who's judging peace? Do I want a mind who's a loving and kindness mind? Or do I want a mind who's judging people?
I can't understand this sentence.
It sounds like you're a little bit offended. Sweetheart, it sounds like you're a little bit offended. Goodness. The one thing for me is, I come from a family where I believe that logic and facts trump emotions. And if something is true, it should be said. And also, I think, people are too sensitive, to be quite honest. They're too sensitive and they get triggered way too easily. If someone says something and it's not true, there's no reason to be upset. In terms of judgment, it is important to be judgmental. It's also called discernment. You have to be able to discern different situations and people. Otherwise, you're, yeah.
Okay, I was just trolling him. You're allowed to be sensitive. But the reason I got to trolling him was based on the simple fact that, baby, you're not going to speak to me all crazy, say things that are triggering, um, and then want to get all hurt. No, like, usually how I fight back is I fight back with my intellect. I don't know, my throat chakra, and my ability to say no. This guy literally, do you get, we were already having this disagreement before I was scheduled to get on the flight that he had already paid for. Now, I'm not going to get into the rest of the mess of that conversation. Um, but here's the thing. Here you have yet another Westerner, another foreigner who has come to Thailand for the purpose of wanting to have spicy time intercourse, getting a dick up his bootay, making it juicy for the girls. But there's a sense of entitlement that yes, Westerners, Western specifically, and I hate to say it, y'all Caucasian boys from the mountains of the Caucasus come down here, interact with either the brown Thai women or the brown lady boys or Katoy or whatever name you wanna call us. And there's a sense of ownership, and though I'm gonna come to, it's kind of like John Smith when he met up with Pocahontas and he just, took up everything. It's just weird how they talk to us, and I'm like the type of person, you start talking to me crazy, honey. There's an old adage in the Bible that says, never argue with a fool. They drag you down to their level and they beat you with experience. Trans women have often seen the worst side of men. The worst side of men that most people don't ever see. And there is a saying, an old English saying that says, once bitten, twice shy. What would possess me? I don't care how much little schmunty, because the money he spent in Thailand, I understand it doesn't mean anything to him. I understand that money means nothing to him. Why would I risk my mental health, my peace? Why would I be sat up in some room with some guy in freaking Krabi? Freaking Krabi. Krabi's pretty though. I could have just gone on like Grindr and just hook up with somebody. But I'm not dishonest. I wasn't gonna get on like a motherfucking ass plane with that, like telling someone that I'm gonna go see him, and I mean, I could have done that. It would have been nice. But I didn't do that, you know what I mean? And I didn't do that because I was too pissed off and I didn't want to, like, bump into this little fool. And it was kind of fun arguing with him. Look, when men try to control me, bully me, I I I'm too unserious to to not fight back. Like it's literally, it's like the word bitchy vomit just jumps out my mouth, and I have to protect myself. When you talk nice, you get the nicest version of me. When all you can do is throw money, I throw tantrums. I throw tantrums. That, yeah, I wanted to play that whole, thing for y'all and show y'all the screenshots. At least, well, let me show you the part where I tell him I'm not fucking going there.
Yes, I think for me,
Oh, I talk too damn much. But I just want to show y'all the part where I tell him, like, woo! Before I show you the part, where, and this is something that actually annoyed me about this dude. Before I show you the part where I told him I wasn't going, I had already gotten to a point in in the conversation, annoying glare, in the conversation where we were arguing. And if you think that the previous little snish we were having was an argument, oh no, baby. Oh no, no, no. So, he basically thinks that I'm judging him. I tell him that nobody is perfect. He goes on his spiel. Um, he then says,
I'm fine here. The fact is, I'm making this effort to bring you from Chiang Mai. So what is this telling you? Let's do that. I'm glad you figured it out, guys. Hey, whatever works for you. But, yeah. Please, I'm very serious. Can't you stop for one day masturbating? I told you I want all this come for myself. It's supposed to come inside my ass 3 times a day. How are you gonna do it to masturbate?
so I'm the type of person, once I've told you something, like I literally mean it, I've already told you that I'm not going to stop. Why would I stop something I enjoy doing? So with me, like, if I wanted to, like, go to Koh Samui, to Pattaya, to Bangkok, to Krabi, to Phuket, I could organize that.
to Singapore, to Malaysia, even. First of all, we got into a part of the conversation, like me and this man have been talking. For it to get to a point for him to buy me a plane ticket, like a return flight, and pay for all of my luggage. And baby, I got luggage. Don't look at my other shit, but I got luggage. Luggaged. I'm well luggaged. So for him to get to the point where he was gonna like sort all of that out, you need to understand, like, we'd been talking. But here's the control issue. So for me, I self pleasure every day, 3 times a day. Yes, I do, and nobody will stop me. Listen, I've had missionaries walk in on me. There are things that have happened, but I told him, like, like, he asked, like, if I don't just hook up with random strangers, what do I do? And I'm like, oh, honey, I just play with myself and it's amazing. So he started getting on this spiel that I need to stop, like, masturbating because when I get there, I need to somehow, like, have enough energy for him. I'm like, boy, do you want to be in a wheelchair? Number one. Do you want to be in a wheelchair? Number one. Two, you don't tell me what to do, my guy. Like, what? You don't tell me what to do and not to do with my body. So he kept on about this. Oh, you need to stop, like, pleasuring yourself because when you come and see me, you need to have all of that energy for me. That makes you feel objectified. That literally makes you feel objectified. Y'all, look at my nails. Oh, sorry. I was just, like, looking at them. Aren't they pretty? You see them? Don't get scratched up. Do not get scratched up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't tell me what to do and what not to do. Avril Lavigne said it best in her song. There was that song that came out called Don't Tell Me. You gave me a kiss when something like this made me go, oh, oh. Yeah, Avril Lavigne been told, y'all. And guys still do this nonsense. So it is evident that me and him, in terms of our personality, he brings out Mufasa in me. Hold on, I need to tie this nonsense. He brings out, because it's bothering me, he brings out Mufasa in me, and not like even the kind of aggression that like I would enjoy, you know what I mean? Not even the kind of aggression that I could like channel into like ooh, uh-uh. Not even the kind of like energy that I can channel. No, this looks crazy. Hold on. Wait. Yeah. Not even the kind of aggression that I can channel into sexual activity. You know what I mean? So no, I wasn't gonna come up with. So no, I wasn't gonna come up and like go too crabby. So yeah, girl, no, I like whoop, he made me mad. So yeah, like I just let him know like on the day, like it was so funny. Because like when was my flight? Anyways, he got the flight I think for last week or whatever. And let me see. I need to go to where I tell him like I'm not fucking going. Ooh. Okay, I think this is when I told him that I wasn't gonna go. And then he loses his shit.
Who said about being hurt? I wasn't complaining about being hurt. I'm just worried that we might clash. Yes, I mean, could be in the future. I'll get hurt. I wouldn't say hurt, but clash. Unpleasant. If two people clash, it's unpleasant.
This is my response. Oh dear, listen to your voice. Losing your temper is such a sensitive reaction. Not not an emotional reaction. And then I did put some like emojis. Why are you bringing up politics again, sweetheart? Oh, then he said something about like Donald Trump, and I'm like, huh? I thought we were talking about Krabi. Fuck Donald Trump got to do with any of this. And then I said,
But yeah, like it's yeah.
I think it's so sexy.
I would tell you to like logically, I don't understand your reaction. To be honest,
I do. I was
I'm
lying.
very like I'm in harmony right now. I'm just expressing that I just don't
Lies,
understand
bitch.
the emotional reaction. That's an assessment.
Oh, I was gaslighting.
If we are already arguing the night before about what is living with harmony means or not, well, just the fact that you made an interview was already a...
Oh. I will say this though, this guy was actually really, really cute. He was really, really cute. He was so, so cute. Anyways, I told him that I wasn't gonna go. We argued. I didn't go. But I mean, like, the thing is, there are other transgender girls in Krabi, and for me, coming to Thailand, I think it's important that I not take business away from women that are courtesans, women that do make their money off, men that'll just swang it in the ocean. If he comes to Chiang Mai, I hope he doesn't watch my YouTube videos because no, even if you watch this video, we'd probably still have sex. That's the funniest part. I think sometimes in these relationships, and part of the reason trans girls get to a point where they start to treat guys like trash, it's like threefold. It's because the guys don't listen, they're controlling, and they just discard you like you're just like nothing. So obviously transgender girls, a lot of trans girls will either just charge you. Me, I'll just troll your motherfucking ass. I'll let you buy that ticket. And when it's time to get on the flight, Baby, I'm gonna watch Friends. And they even brought back, what's that show? Different Strokes on Netflix. I'll ignore your ass. Come on now. So, yeah, that was like the weird, like, catfish dude who buys me a flight to Krabi. It would have been so much better if he had just bought me a new Barbie doll that I could have just shown him the picture and then come to Chiang Mai, hang out, and then we get to know each other instead of telling me not to masturbate. I have no forgiveness. Anyways, oh my god, if anyone watched till the end of this video, I love you. I love you, and I'm gonna have to take this outfit off. I swear, I feel like my clothes just keep falling off when I talk about these topics. I guess it is Bloody Sunday. Well, you guys have an awesome, awesome day. I love you so much. And remember what I said about my nails. They're pretty, but do not get scratched up now. Don't do that. Just be nice to the dolls, and they will be so nice to you. Bye.